Welcome to the European Le Mans Series here in Portugal. The 4 hours of Portimão will be coming along tomorrow, Saturday, remember, into dusk, but qualifying here on Friday ahead of what has always been an engaging and enthralling and exciting venue for the season finale for the ELMS. We're about to go qualifying, and it will be LMGT3 first. Joined, and for starters, let's just recognise Johnny Palmer, not well today. Johnny, I hope you're watching and listening in from the comfort of your hotel room.
I hope he's sleeping.
I hope he's sleeping. Stay in bed, mate. It's feeling a bit poorly sick. But as you've just heard, delighted to be joined by, and thanks for putting aside some time. And I know what's a busy day, to Oliver Gavin, sports car racing legend, as I'm fond of saying, and he's fond of putting his hand to his forehead when I say it, but he is. Ollie, this series, in its modern iteration, just keeps taking strides forward in its relevance, in the depth and the quality.
Absolutely, yeah, it is. And you walk up and down the paddock or run through the paddock, look, I've just done now, still trying to catch my breath. Yes, it is stacked with talent, well run and thoroughly briefed, and levels of expertise here in the paddock is exceptional. And here's just one of the cars that's run extremely well, the Iron Dames, the Proton Run machine, and they're another example. They've got AF Course, Kessel Racing, all running fantastic machines.
It's 13 cars in this LMGT3 field, one of, well, really only 3 series that runs the cars to this specification, if we include IMSA, and I do, with the torque sensor based live data system and a sort of different way of going racing. But it's a great way for teams and drivers to learn the discipline that's going to be needed for where all these teams and drivers are aiming, and that's the 24 Hours of Le Mans.
Yeah, 24 Hours of Le Mans and the World Endurance Championship. These cars can be run in both of those, that championship and the Le Mans 24 Hours. And yes, it still is the jewel in the crown. Le Mans 24 Hours is the one that every driver, every team, every manufacturer, it seems, wants to get to right now. And that's it's very, very special. Each year, each edition is extremely special.
It's a new era in the last couple of years now in ACO rules racing, with the cars built to basic GT3 specification. What that's brought is not just deeper grids, but more varied grids. 6 different manufacturers involved in the European Le Mans Series grid of 13 cars. The car heading the order at the moment is one I think you're quite familiar with.
The Corvette Z06 GT3R?
Yes, perfectly done. I don't know how you do it. But they're behind 3 more. The number 50 car, championship contenders, the Richard Mille, of course, Ferrari. And could Lilou Wadou this weekend make it 2 championships in a week? Because taking the Michelin Endurance Cup in the IMSA Championship last week, also there, United Autosports and their McLaren sitting there, and one of the Iron Lynx Mercedes AMGs. All sorts of shenanigans going on, both on track and behind the scenes, about what's happening this year, what's happening next year. There'll be headlines to come.
Under 1 minute to start LMGT3 qualifying session. We are under 1 minute. Let's take the opportunity to remind drivers that they need to respect track limits. Thank you.
So the drone shot showing the majority, but not all the cars ready to go. This is, we talked about this, didn't we, in qualifying for the Michelin Le Mans Cup. We're going to pause in a moment or two because I think we're going to get a 30-second count. Get space, use it.
Yeah, be smart. Teams need to be looking.
30 seconds, under 30 seconds to open pit exit.
There you go. Thanks, Eduardo. Yeah, and the teams need to be looking and watching and using this track map that we've got here in our booth, which can spot and tracks the cars when they're out there on the lap. And everybody needs to be using that data to find
10,
the driver the spots
9,
that they need.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pit exit is open. LMGT3 qualifying session has started.
One of the icons in the modern era of endurance racing, Eduardo Freitas, is that trouble there from the Kessel cars, or just waiting? Shouldn't be waiting there.
Shouldn't be waiting there, no. I think Andrew's maybe just
74 car.
Just stalled, maybe, just couldn't get it started.
But this is a racetrack which he's extremely proud, Eduardo. He's been a big part of the history of the development of the Autodromo.
It looks stunning today, doesn't it? You know, in the sunshine, and it's beautiful here in this landscape around it. It does look very, very special.
They make us very welcome every year. This has been the traditional home of the end of the season for many years now for the European Le Mans Series, and it's not always been bright sunshine. Tipping rain fairly recently. Yeah. Double header for one of our season finales with 2 races on the weekend, and always doles out drama. We'll save the maths about championships for tomorrow.
I was going to let you touch that. I wasn't really going to go there.
We'll deal with that, and hopefully with Johnny back on board tomorrow.
Yeah, we need some brains in the booth.
We do. But what this is all about is raw speed, and with the bronze drivers at the wheel of the car, this has been a change that's come in fairly recent time for ACO Rules Racing, that to give the bronze drivers, principally the guys and the girls paying the bills,
I think it's brilliant.
The cars in their most pure sense, with the new tyres, with the low fuel. And tell us, Ollie, the difference between, in your case for the most part, but not exclusively, a Corvette in endurance racing trim, ready to go for 4, 6, 8, 12, 24 hours, and a car ready to go for 4 laps.
It is really quite different, and it's something that every driver looks forward to and cherishes. Have that opportunity to get it out on track, low fuel, new tyres. The car always feels alive. It really feels on its toes, and kind of like it's a bit of a unicorn moment, let's say, because you just don't really get to drive these cars in these conditions apart from this exact moment. And so it's something that you always relish as a driver, to jump in for qualifying and sort of like, yeah, really sort of roll your sleeves up and go, come on, see what we can really get out of the car.
I remember talking to the likes of Paul Dell'Olana, to the likes of Ben Keating, and what they all say when you talk about this discipline is it makes them a better driver.
Yeah, it does, and you know, they really want to push themselves absolutely to the limit, and this is the most purest form of that, where they're really testing themselves and really seeing what man and machine can do in its most pure form in the GT3 class. And so, yeah, I think that every single bronze driver just relishes the challenge of doing qualifying, and particularly at somewhere like this, where Portimão, which is really a driver's track with all its elevation change that we're just seeing right now. You know, it's phenomenal, where you've got to really work with this elevation change and how you're placing the car, where you're placing it, and how you're working with all the controls to make sure that you're getting the absolute maximum from everything that's underneath you.
And uniquely in endurance racing, which is famously an absolute full team sport, this is one of those moments. It's not about the team, it's about the driver.
Yeah, and some drivers absolutely thrive on that and love that opportunity. Others sometimes do sort of, let's say, feel the pressure, and some bronze drivers are definitely better racers than they are qualifiers. And that's one of the things that teams will work on, and every single bronze driver will have a coach here, or will have their silver driver or pro driver that they're working with to improve them in these particular points right now. How do we get the most out of our bronze driver right now in this session to get ourselves towards the front of the grid?
Crossing the line and going second fastest, and now third fastest. I'll tell you in just a moment why. Hiroshi Koizumi in the beautiful silver and grey, or double silver if you like, Corvette. Martin Berry goes to the top of the times. Martin in the Iron Lynx number 63 AMG, rebuilt after a huge accident inflicted upon him at Silverstone in kind of greasy conditions. Clement Mathieu is aboard the 59 Racing Spirit Le Mans Aston Martin. TF Sport, as I say, Hiroshi Koizumi. Custodia Toledo in the 50 Richard Mille AF Corsa Ferrari, that is the blue and white car. Takeshi Kimura aboard his regular highlighted yellow car guy liveried Kessel Racing Ferrari. Celia Martin once again aboard the white and very pink Iron Danes 85 Porsche. Duncan Cameron in his Spitfire Tribute liveried 55 Spirit of Race Ferrari. Michael Birch in the United Autosports 23 McLaren. Scott Noble in James W's yellow and red number 66 Ferrari. Horst Felbermeyer is, that's a new name aboard that car. That's the orange and black Proton competition Porsche. Andrew Gilbert we saw in the grey and orange car, lovely livery on that car, love it to pieces. The Kessel Racing number 74, and I think I've missed one, and that's Mike Wainwright in the black and orange GR Racing 86. Clement Mathieu to the top, and Tommy Good scoring early doors here. 9.5 minutes to go. The time to beat 1:43.452, and that may well be the first serious time we've seen.
Yeah, it is, and we're just seeing Martin come across the line here now, and he's gone up to second and
10th off.
Yeah, just a 10th off. And Martin has been really one of the stars of the show this year in ELMS. He has been extremely fast. He's had this car on pole position a couple of times, I believe.
Yep.
And he was very, very unlucky with what happened at Silverstone. That was a brutal accident. Just glad to see him, the car rebuilt, and him back here as well and competing again.
I feel he's going to be a big part of bronze racing in this formula moving forward. He's a relatively young bronze driver. He's super, super keen. He's got a kid he wants to bring into endurance racing, I think, alongside him at some point.
Massive passion for it, hasn't
he? Has. Lovely, lovely guy.
Yeah.
Australian, living in Singapore, and just finding there's something about endurance racing that ticks the boxes for him, and that's great to hear.
Yeah, it is fantastic.
So Martin Berry goes around, he's second, 10th off. With the moment after, where are we? Just 2 flying laps. Clement Mathieu leads the way for Racing Spirit Le Mans with the Aston Martin. It was Aston Martin in the top 2 positions, wasn't it, in the Michelin Le Mans Cup this morning? Could it be another pole position?
Kazumi is up here, and he is looking about 2.5 tenths up. So if he gets this last turn 14 and turn 15 right, I think he should be very close to pole.
Yeah, Hiroshi Kazumi, another guy who's come on leaps and bounds, has come into the ELMS through the World Endurance Championship, we raced last year, and the Michelin Le Mans Cup, and he's just finding his feet, and it's great to see. He goes fastest. Clement Mathieu, by the way, and Takeshi Kimura both on the pit lane at the moment.
This shot, what a shot. Oh, brilliant
Martin
stuff.
Berry.
Yeah, 13 we're at now. We're coming through to 14, just the way he puts the power down. You see the car just moving as he's getting on the gas. And then he's just winding it back to the apex there nicely, and then just drifting off that apex and winding it out to the exit curb at turn 14.
That's a quick drone. That's a very quick drone. Here comes Celia Martin. Celia has had a very interesting first season as part of the frontline squad for the Iron Dames. The 85 car. Her form in the LMS has been very good indeed. She's had mixed form with the team in the FIA World Endurance Championship, and a lot of that is going to be about familiarity when it begins to ramp up.
Yeah, she just is pinching off the corners a little bit there. I'm surprised to see that. She seems like she's very, very aware that she doesn't want to let the car run too wide, get pinged for track limits. And it's only at turn 5 that seems to be a little bit of an issue.
So on board now with Michael Birch in the United Autosports McLaren.
Yeah, I think that could have been track limits there at turn 11.
Okay, we'll keep an eye on what's going on with the 23 car. So it's Hiroshi Kazumi from Clement Mathieu, Martin Berry, Celia Martin, and Michael Birch 5th quickest at the moment. Not called it on track limits yet, and he's...
No, that was me, a misjudgment on the corner that he was at. I'd got myself in the wrong spot.
It's so easy to do from here. You must have done it all the time.
Yeah, I constantly get confused on where I am. Yeah, exactly.
But 1:43.446 is proving to be quite a challenge to match here. Clement Mathieu, by the way, 6 thousandths of a second off that. How close do you want it? But all of a sudden, it seems like everybody's on track limits. It's 1, 2, 3, the top 4 cars on their current laps, all track limits.
Yeah. So we're seeing a few have actually gone in pit lane.
Jim Maguire there, ex-ELMS racer with Daniel Schneider. Current ELMS racer for United Autosports. Jim now part of the ownership structure at United.
Are we going to see a couple come out on new tyres? We are allowed to use those, aren't
we?
They're allowed 2 sets if they'd like. I think Kazumi's going to go for another crack at it.
5 minutes to go, so there's time to do it, but it'll be a scramble to get a second flying lap in here. It's a relatively short circuit. 1:43, the best lap time so far. Here comes Andrew Gilbert. I think he's loving this Ferrari, Andrew.
He is. I think it's a bit of a battle for the Ferrari runners this weekend. The car is very, very heavy. with the balance of performance. Oh, and Andrew's just got pinched off a bit there, ran out of road as the Iron Dames car came out on cold tyres.
Yeah, so that's one of the cars to watch at the end of this session. Also out after pitting, Hiroshi Kazumi. Martin Berry is out there, we presume, on new rubber. Custodio Toledo, Duncan Cameron and Scott Noble. So a fleet of Ferraris. Here comes the JMW car. It's 2025 livery. I believe we're going to see this same squad with Jimmy Bruni continue on into 2026 as they are clearly enjoying their campaigns, and they'll expect to do better next time around, having had a year's opportunity to take a look at these circuits. And that, Ollie Gavin, is such a big part, particularly when you're coming into this sport as a relative newcomer. It's familiarity. Yeah,
it is, and I think the number of the bronzes and the silver partnerships that they have, you know, they're trying to develop their understanding of the cars, machinery, the teams, the racetracks, but then also the style of racing, the multi-class racing, the ACO rules that you have in ELMS and in the World Endurance Championship. And that's actually one of the key things, is to be able to carry that consistency of the rules over from ELMS into WEC, so that any of these bronze and silver drivers who are learning their craft here in the ELMS, they can carry it forward into the World Endurance Championship, and that's key.
Yep. It is about being quick, it is about being consistent, it's about being kind to the machinery, it's about not making mistakes.
Yeah, and it's also understanding what you need to be doing when on the track, in the rules and at certain points in the race or certain sessions. Again, look at this drone shot, I love it. It's just fantastic being able to follow the car in all of its different ways, how it moves, where he's placing the car. I'm sure the team are going to be going, it's interesting just to see from up high how the car is placed on the track and where Scott is putting the car. Or dealing with that bump there at the apex of turn 15. I know I was talking to Ben Tuck just earlier, and he said that bump there is really a challenge for every car, but I think with a Ferrari this weekend, it is really quite something.
Yep, Scott crosses the line. There is an improvement, is there? No, marginally not, I'm afraid, for Scott there. 2.5 minutes to go. Still cars going quickly here, but Hiroshi Kazumi, now what's happened there? Hiroshi tops the times. It's still that 6,000th of a second. I think he had a better lap time, but it's been taken away with track limits. But we've got other...
We're just hearing there in the background, I think somebody's just spun off. There was something I'm going to see. Oh, yes, there we go.
Charlie Samani, and that's come just as Michael Birch puts the United Autosports McLaren third, and under is half a tenth off. So yellow flags at turn 7, and I think it's going to be more than that. This might be the end of the session.
Yeah, because that's right in the spot. I think we saw in the Michelin Le Mans Cup qualifying, didn't we, with LMP3? Somebody spun there.
Delia Martin is going to want to get to the line and get there quickly, because if red flag comes out, her lap, and it's a red flag, and she's not going to score a lap that would have elevated her way up the field.
Wow. Yeah, you can see the disappointment in the garage there.
That's, she was right in the window for pole position, 64 thousandths off after a purple sector in sector 2. She will not be permitted to complete that lap. There you go, she's lifted off. She's going to be absolutely gutted.
Yeah, it's frustrating, really is. And that's sometimes that you roll the dice in qualifying.
There you go, there is Michelle Gatting, and you can see the expression there, and she's not feeling like she wants to say something polite at that moment.
Oh, I wouldn't be going and put the camera in front of her. Or
No. Or anybody else for that matter.
Yeah.
Big spin there, and happily without harm, other than to the session. And it will be the end of that session, because by the time this gets going, there's not going to be time for an outlap. So Charlie Samani off and into the gravel from 11th place. The red flag is out. And we'll wait until they confirm it, but there will be no time to improve, and it will be a Corvette in pole position.
Fantastic. Nothing better than the session with a Corvette on pole position. Yeah, they're all very happy there down in the TF garage. There's Charlie Eastwood, one of the pro. He is the pro in this car, and he's now a regular with the Corvette Racing Group. And
well, they've had pole positions in the FIWC. I'm just trying to work out whether or not this might be their first in the ELMS.
I thought you had these stats like right at your fingertips. Grant.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm trying to do 15 jobs
at
the moment, so it's for me it's overwhelming.
Excuses.
Yeah.
I mean, Come on. But no, great to see. Fantastic to have a Corvette here on pole position. And yeah, I'm sure that...
Well, Tom Ferry and the crew are going to be utterly delighted with that. The answer is that is the first pole position in the ELMS competition for the current iteration of Corvette, at least, and for TF Sports. So congratulations to them. Huge congratulations to Kazumi-san. That will mean something special to him.
Yeah, I mean, it is always special to get pole position, but it's certainly Kazumi-san, you know, he went into the World Endurance Championship. I think he did find it a big challenge.
Oh, yeah.
And I think just stepping down a level to come into the World Endurance, into the ELMS, I think that is the right move. And I think that they've really put together a nice season this year, and finishing off here this weekend and getting pole position, I think is a nice way to round off the year for him.
Yeah, by the way, Martin Berry, you said about his record, 3 pole positions for Martin this season.
So
he's been phenomenal.
So he's saying I was right.
No, you said 2. LMGT3 classification, 82 TF Sport Car, 143.446, 6 thousandths of a second ahead of the 59 Racing Spirit.
I'm still going to make
Aston
a note
Martin.
of it.
I'll go for it. And then the McLaren number 23. I think that might be their best qualified performance of the year so far, and under half a tenth back. Then Martin Berry in the AMG, before we get to 5th place in the first of the Ferraris. You weren't wrong, were you? And that's Takeshi Kimura ahead of Celia Martin, who will feel as if the opportunity to get a stellar qualifying performance was ruined there with the timing and the placement of the red flag, but them's the breaks. There we go. That is LMGT3, and still, by the way, waiting for confirmation that's the end of that session, but it is. With 1 minute and 34 seconds on the clock. Remember, we still have 3 more sessions to go. LMP3, LMP2 Pro-Am, where we'll see the bronze drivers again. LMP3 will be the pros, and then LMP2 will be turned up to 11 with the Gibson or the Orica Gibsons in both the LMP2 classes doing the best they can. Team manager from 51 is called immediately to race control. That's nothing unusual about that.
Pretty standard procedure, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. It is Hurst Felbermeyer. He's getting some encouragement from Matteo Cressoni, who's been part of this effort all the way through, helping to coach Claudio Schiavone, who retired early from the season with injury. But cracking stuff there from TF Sports. And Steph Wentworth has made haste down to TF Sports, and she's going to be talking to one of the drivers down in the garage any second now.
Yes, I am joined by Rui Andrade, driver of the number 82 TF Sport. Now, Hiroshi Kazuma, your teammate, has just put it on pole. It's great for your hopes in the championship fight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's 1 extra point, which, as we know, in the GT battle can come a long way because everyone's so close. But mostly just super happy for Hiro. He's had a few times where the pace was there, but just a little bit of misfortune came his way in qualifying. But today to put it on pole, very happy for him. Probably, I'm sure he's very excited. And tomorrow we have a long 4 hours, but to start at the front, always good. You avoid a little bit of the mess at the start, and then we see where we go from there.
Okay, and obviously, as we know, the LMGT3 battle is incredibly tight. What are your expectations going into the race tomorrow? Because it's been incredibly hard for the GT3s to string together consistent campaigns.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think everyone's very close, which is what we want, right, from the different manufacturers. So it's really going to be down to, well, individual driver's pace and also strategy. It's going to be a long race. I think there's going to be quite a lot of interventions as well, which could throw a little bit of mess into the race. But I think we're quite happy with our car balance. More happy with it for the race and quality, to be honest. So to be on pole is a really good sign. And I think we just have to take it step by step tomorrow.
Best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, certainly one of the things that I've seen over the year is that the Corvette does look after its tyre extremely well. So if they're quick in quali, I think they're going to be very quick in the race. And Rui has really impressed me this year.
Yeah, he's taken a big step.
He has.
He's clearly enjoying that car.
Silverstone, in the rain, he was as fast as anyone.
Brilliant.
Yeah, he really did a fantastic job.
I was about to say, by the way, there is Hiroshi Kazumi and enjoying that. There's the one. That's not a rude gesture. That's him getting the photographs.
I thought he was just...
Indeed, across the back of his overalls, Visit Angola. That's the sponsor from Rui, Portuguese Angolan. So it's a Japanese driver from Asia. It's an Angolan Portuguese driver from Africa. It is Charlie Eastwood, who I believe is from Europe, and it's an American car. That's 4 continents, 1 entry. That's pretty impressive.
Well done, Tom.
Out they come for LMP3. 10 cars for the European Le Mans Series. It's a mix of 3 different chassis. I say mix, it is 8 Ligiers and a single Duquesne and Ginetta for this session. Another 15 minutes as the clock is reset, and it will be the pro drivers aboard these 10 cars if the playbook goes to form. Cracking stuff ahead here for LMP3. Quite the season so far, and dominated with excellent form from CLX Racing. CLX Motorsport, my apologies.
Yeah, they've done a brilliant job. They tied the championship last round, wasn't it?
They did indeed, and it's dominant. They've had, of the 5 races so far, they've won 4 of them, and there was just the catastrophe that befell them at Spa, where literally everything seemed to go wrong.
But they could have tied it up there, couldn't they, at Spa?
Well, at Spa, to that point, they had 100% record. They had all of the pole positions, and they had all the wins, and then it just fell away from them in the most dramatic way possible. But gathered themselves back up, tucked the win at Silverstone. That was enough to clinch the title, and now we can go racing for the glory of a race win, unencumbered by wondering who's going to win this championship, because that is our championship winning team. Bon Larcher, Adrien Clomenil, and Theodore Jensen.
Yes, well done. You plucked it from somewhere.
It's Danish, he must be called Jensen. There you go. Away they come, cars released. And it's DKR Engineering with their multicoloured Ginetta.
Yeah.
What were you seeing there?
I didn't think that they could pull right up through past the timing or the
RFID.
Oh yeah, RFID.
Okay.
But they've clearly been pulled up there by the marshals. So
there was our championship-winning car, and that's a new livery for that car, isn't it? It's a bit more gold on that. I wonder what that is. It might be to celebrate something. I'll have to find out later. Maybe a championship. But
that'd be my guess.
Yeah, CLX Motorsport have done a stellar job in LMP3. They've not had the best of years in LMP2, and as you'll see a little later, we're missing one of their cars here, the 37 car withdrawn after an injury in G2 racing last week for Alex Malikin. But Euro International looking to bounce back after what's been a challenging year for them as well.
We saw that overhead shot, and I was a little wrong. I was wrong.
I'll put that in the book.
Yeah, exactly. They're pulled past this RFID. You can see there on the shot now, there's 2 cars that are past the 2 black boxes there, which are in front of the white boards, and that's the RFID sensors that work out which tyre is on the car, and working through all of that.
There's Nicolas Lapierre, who's in the ownership structure of CLX Motorsport, as well as his role as the sporting director at the Alpine Endurance team, coming off the back of a famous first win for the A424 in Fuji. It's been quite a few weeks in endurance racing. Amazing race at Portimão for sure. It never disappoints as a venue for the season finale. Closing in on, 1 minute to go before we get to this session.
Sure, we're going to be told any second.
We'll get a 30 count in about 20 seconds, I think. Interesting moments ahead for the W10 by Rinaldi team. The sole Duquesne in this order, the number 12 car there. Talk about that when we see the car on track. And then the 15 car behind, luckless at Silverstone. There is the LMP3 Teams Champion logo. And the 17 crew, richly deserving of that title, pretty much, with the exception of Spa, faultless, and 3 very talented drivers in that car.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. LMP3 qualifying has started.
He disappointed us. I thought we were going to get a 30-second count. He just gave us a 10.
He's lazy. Lazy. Known for it. Away they go. And Ultimate, the number 35 car at the head of the queue, will be one of 37 cars, by the way, will take part in our rookie test on Sunday. And if I'm correct, I think the rookie they're testing is another second-generation racer from a driver they raced the past. Francois Ero, and I think it may be Saint-Gilles.
Oh, wow.
In that car. So all sorts of fun and games to come on Sunday here. Saturday is race day, remember, so if you're fans of the European Le Mans Series, didn't mean almost.
Yeah. And taken out there by the E2.
Let's face it, who isn't? Race day is tomorrow, Saturday, here at Portimão.
Yeah, I've adjusted that in my calendar.
Yes, indeed. Not the first time.
Well, I've been wrong.
Well, no, I can recall one season where we did get a road calendar issued in certain places, and I can remember the tsunami that went through the press room at Spa when we realised that Barcelona on that occasion was, I think, on a Saturday, and literally everybody in my eyesight was on the phone trying to change flights notice, including me. So away we go. It's the drone shot just showing us there. Nothing to be gained at this point by harassing the car ahead. Yeah. Unless you want to, I think this is an impolite way of saying, can you pull over and let me through, sunshine? Yeah,
at some point you give up and go, okay, right, I need some space, back up. But into Europol car is still pressing on.
So it is, DKR is in the hands of Mikkel Garda Pedersen in the Ginetta. Team Virage are putting Daniel Nogales out in their number 8 car. Ian Aguilera is aboard the 11 for Euro International. Griffin Peebles, always one to watch. We saw him blistering form in Asia last season. He's been an absolute fireball this season. Gillian Henrion, and again, thanks to Gillian for helping us this morning with commentary. He's now,
what is going on here with these two?
These two need to stop it.
Just come on, guys.
He's aboard the LRM Sport car. CLX Motorsport have got Adrien Clomenil on duty this weekend. Marius Fossard for Racing Spirit of Le Mans in their 31 Ligier. Jean-Baptiste Lehay is aboard the Ultimate car, the 35. Quentin Antonel is in the bright pink, or rather the slightly darker shaded pink, M Racing number 68, and Duhet de Decker is in the Inter-Europol 88 car.
Who's been doing all the harassing and finally got the message, just space out, there's only 10 of you on the track. It's a big track. It
was Antonel, wasn't it, the M Racing car? It wasn't as I thought initially it was. No, sorry, you're right, it was de Decker. There is Antonel.
Okay, just noting that down again, I was right.
We're even Stevens, and either way, you know, it's, I'll switch your mic off. So it'll be me. Not yet up to speed. 3 minutes into the session.
Yep.
And now getting towards the point where we start to see the dial turned up and the times coming down. Last race of the season in this Gen 3 for LMP3. It's an entirely different soundtrack these days, but the pace is still there in LMP3, and hearing from teams and drivers, no less pleasurable to drive and finding much better pace than some of the guys were finding in the old Nissan V8 engine cars. Super slow-mo with the 31 from the Racing Spirit Le Mans team.
Yeah, interestingly, he's still weaving on the straight there, trying to get temperature into the tyre as he comes on to start his next time lap. So this is not going to be seen as the lap that he wants to deliver the lap time. So there is a number of laps of preparation here that they have to go through to get the absolute maximum from these tyres.
And this, by the way, the only class in the European Le Mans Series that uses Michelin rubber.
Yeah.
The other 3 classes all on the Goodyears. LMP2, LMP2 Pro Am and LMGT3. And Michelin a big part of LMP3 from the very start.
There's a definite difference in the soundtrack to the previous gen, isn't it?
It most certainly is. Gillian Henrion at the wheel of the 15 RLRM Sport. This is the defending champions from last year, the team, and indeed 2 of the drivers. With Gaël Julien elsewhere, we'll see him tomorrow racing in the Michelin Le Mans Cup at a guest drive, second guest drive of the season for the very rapid French Malagasy driver.
You can see that a lot of these drivers are just very deliberate with their line, very deliberate with the way that they're delivering the car to the apex and working the exits and trying to stay as smooth as they can. really trying to be slow with their hands, slow with their feet. Just trying to deliver the car into the corner, you know, carrying that momentum. That seems to be the one that's going to be paying the dividends.
I've watched enough documentaries featuring Jackie Stewart and his method of driving to know that smoothness is the way to do it. And this sort of shows that, doesn't it? There's nothing sudden about this. It's all about kind of making sure the momentum is kept up, making sure the line is clean.
Yep, and that's just making sure they're absolutely maximising it, not overloading the car or the tyre or the slip angle, you know, dramatically. You're trying to keep it right there on the edge of adhesion the whole time, in every single angle, in every way that you're working any of the controls, whether it's throttle, brake, the steering wheel, how you're delivering the car through the corner and then feeding the power in, and just holding it right there on the very limit.
9 minutes to go. Marius Fassard from Racing Spirit Le Mans leads the way with a 1:39.840. 4 thousandths of that is Quentin Antonelle. But they're both beaten on the next time around by Guillaume Henrion, who puts 9/10 on the field at this point. Still others looking capable of improvements.
Ian Aguilera is there, down in 8th place in the Euro International car, and he's putting a lap together, it seems. Yeah, he's just gone through that second sector, and he is 1/4 of a second up.
Ian, a driver is just looking for the luck to fall his way, but he absolutely is going to be somebody who's going to make waves in this.
Yeah,
Henrion well up again, another flying first sector for him. So it does look here as if Aguilera can put a decent lap together and snatch provisional pole.
It'd be good to see him where he is exactly on the lap.
He's definitely the man form, and he goes to the top by 12 thousandths of a second.
Just lost a little bit of time there. Maybe as that last couple of corners weren't quite so clean, but yet still on pole. Great lap.
Yeah, 2/10 of a second separate the top three. It's not going to be for much longer, because if we get a good run, and I think he's going to get the good run through the final sector, I think we're going to see something spectacular here from Guillaume Henrion.
Yeah.
It's 1:38.9.
14 here.
It's a target, not a result at the moment. Here he comes down the hill. LMP2 Sport, used to winning. They've not had the season they would have wished. Caught up in someone else's accident at Silverstone. Across the line he goes. Henrion goes to the top by 7/10 of a second.
Wow.
That is a stellar lap. 1:38.266. Is there going to be any answer from anyone? I'm going to take all the credit that's because of what he learned in commentary this morning.
Oh, yeah, without doubt.
I'm sure he'll give me that. Adrien Clomenil closes the gap, though, by 50%, 4/10 off for CLX Motorsport in the 17 car. This session isn't done yet. 6.5 minutes to go. Still cars with pace out there.
Henrion goes quicker in the first sector, so there's more in the tank there, it seems, for him. Doesn't look like anybody else has quite that much.
No, couple within the window, but it's 10s off, including Mikkel Gerda Pedersen, and also Adrien Clomenil. There's some interesting next sector times coming up here. What's left in this track? It is getting warmer out there. It's not blisteringly hot.
No, but the sun's been out all day, hasn't it? And there's not really a cloud in the sky, and so yeah, that solo is going to be high, and the track temp is going to be climbing. I think it's just over 40 degrees C.
Yep. So LMP Sport with a 1:38.266 in the hands of Guillaume Henrion, still sticking with the number 15 car. I can tell you that the cars behind him, Adrien Clomenil and Ian Aguilera, not that far off that pace. It's 10th and a half. Here comes Henrion. He's just over his previous, still in the 1:38, 1:38.4. That, by the way, would have been good enough for second.
Yeah, when it's like that, you know the car's good, he's dialed in.
Across the line to close the gap, Adrien Clomenil. Now 1/4 of a second is the gap.
He's just chipping away at it.
Can
he just carry the speed through turn 1? All the way down here into that next big brake zone. Can he get the car stopped at 3? Yes, he can. He's made it back to the apex nicely, and it's all that drive off and how the car squirms on the power And then it's the flick back through that fast left-hander, then coming down into turn 5.
He's definitely coming, but the problem from him is that Guillaume Henrion keeps moving the...
it's close, though. The two of them, they're only about, I don't know what...
400ths.
Yes, 400ths apart, that's it.
Both up on the current provisional pole time, but the combined total of the two in difference is 600ths.
Yeah, splitting hairs at the moment, it really is.
But
yeah,
Henrion puts in another blistering middle sector. What answer can Clomenil give at the moment? They are the two that appear to be in this to win it. Griffin Peebles not far away. Clomenil, what's happened? What just happened there? In Aguilera
P2.
No, it was Daniel Nogales, I think, going up to 4th that put the cat amongst the pigeons there. No, the other one is DK Engineering. Mikael Garda Pedersen goes up to 4th in the Ginetta. So that's a great result from them at this point. Henrion, though, has extended the envelope. It's half a second up now. That's a cracking third sector. 3 purple sectors for Guillaume Henrion and for RLR Sport, the number 15 car. And the answer from Adrien Clomenil is 3/10 off that with an improvement. So 137.982 plays 138.303. Griffin Peebles pops up in 3rd quickest, 7/10 off Guillaume Henrion's best. Fossard, I think that was, in the 31 car, running wide.
Yeah.
And that will not count.
No. Nearly made it to the gravel there, but not quite.
So the big beasts in this field are beginning to show their claws.
Peebles has moved up, hasn't he? P3.
That's P3. What might be the last racing weekend with this team for the Duquesne? Spotted in the week that car is up for sale at the end of this season. They are already running Ligiers in the Michelin Le Mans Cup Rinaldi Racing, and I do wonder whether or not this might be a switch coming in the off-season.
Peebles has done personal best in first sector.
Certainly Griffin Peebles can get to the front row here. Can he get to Guillaume Henrion's pace? I don't know, is the honest answer.
Half a second off. He's just dropped off there in that second sector.
2 minutes to go. RLRM Sports, Guillaume Henrion, Adrien Clomenil, CLX Motorsport, both in Ligiers, 1-2. The gap 0.3 of a second. 0.4 further back in the Sol Duquesne. WTM by Rinaldi. Griffin Peebles still going quickly, but not quickly enough. Then it's Ian Aguilera. And then after that, Due de Decker, both in Ligiers, your international inter-European competition. All of those cars within a single second. And then the next 10th covers off a further, what is that, 4 cars.
Yeah, we're going to see something we're going to need to see something special here now from one of these guys to make an improvement. We're not just seeing the odd green sector from some of them, but no purples.
It's not enough, is it?
No.
That was a...
Oh, no, we've just gone purple there with...
Clomenil. So...
Eating my words.
Commentator's curse again. I ruined somebody's Ligier European Series Championship earlier by saying something that often did happen and then did. Sorry.
Murray.
So it's all about now, and it's purple middle sector now for Guillaume Henrion. So he's up on his own time. Adrien Clomenil is up on that time, but only after sector 1. Sector 2 is going to be critical here, and he's off slightly. But it's so
slightly
close.
I mean, there's nothing in it. Clomenil delivering the car into the apex there at 13. Nicely done. Get a drive off of there. Set the car nicely for 14. Got it back nicely to the apex and, yeah, right across it. And hard on the power, using all the road there on the exit. Can he deliver the car now nicely to the apex of 15? The bump just there. Car seems okay. But is it enough?
Henrion has improved. It's a 137.923. It's a purple third sector. What can Clomenil do?
Oh.
Not enough, but it's under 0.2 of a second. 9 seconds on the clock. He can go again if he's got the car underneath him to do it.
Oh, he just threw the car into turn 1 there. You could see chasing it all the way to the apex. Great stuff. These guys
by the
are
way,
on
that
it.
lap would not have counted. It was track limits in sector 2 for Adrien Clomenil.
We didn't see that.
But he can still go now. Has he got the car underneath him to do it? What do they think? Right now, Gillian Henrion 4 tenths up, and it's not going to be enough for Adrian Clomenil. It is going to be pole position magnificently for Gillian Henrion and for RLRM Sports. They're not going to be champions this year, but they're going to start their weekend with a pole position and starting from the front of the grid. That's a nice way to end what's a challenging year for RLRM Sports. So, cars crossing the line. Griffin Peebles will not improve. He's done track limits on his final efforts. Behind them, everybody else has already completed their run either on pit lane or with a checkered flag. RLRM Sport it will be. Pole position for the season finale here at Portimão. From our championship winners, CLX Motorsport, the number 17 car. Gillian Henrion edges out Adrian Clomenil by almost 4 tenths of a second. And the gap behind to Griffin Peebles, the number 12 W10 by Rinaldi Racing Duquesne, is pretty much equidistant. It's another 4 tenths back. And the final car within the single second is Due de Decker in the Inter-Europol competition 88, the bright pink Ligier. That's what it means to the boys and girls at RLRM Sport. Nick Adcock, one of the 2 gentlemen drivers that share the 15. Gillian, the other one being Michael Jensen. So here's the 3rd place car on the grid, the W10 by Rinaldi, the multicoloured Duquesne. Griffin Peebles, not quite enough today. The championship liveried number 17 CLX Motorsport car. Adrian Clomenil looked like he might have enough in the tank to get it done, but ultimately didn't because of the stellar qualifying efforts of Gillian Henrion in the number 15 RLRM Sports Ligier. Ligier, RLRM Sports and Gillian Henrion take pole position here for the 4 hours of Portimão with a 1:37.923 from CLX Motorsport and W10 by Rinaldi Racing. Inter-Europol competition will complete the 2nd row ahead of Euro International and the DKR Engineering Ginetta. Team Virage, Racing Spirit Le Mans, Ultimate and M Racing make up the remainder of the 10-car LMP3 grid. Stick with us, 2 more 15-minute bouts of fun to come. LMP2 Pro-Am, where you'll see the bronze drivers aboard the Oricas, and then the LMP2 class, where it's full pro. All the power, all the time. And something about this track and those cars, it's always a spectacle with LMP2 here at Portimão. And
the cars certainly do seem alive.
They do, and you know,
lots of points on the track.
It's a venue that through the pandemic period, we came here in the early days of hypercar, and those Oricas and the performances here stood up well to the earlier brand of hypercar performance. No doubt whatsoever about it. So there is our qualifying classification for one final moment. That is the International Circuit del Algarve here in Portimão, up in the mountains. So RLRM Sport it was. Nick Adcock has finished his congratulations with the team and he's potted across to have a quick chat with Step Wentworth, who's down in the garage now.
Hello everyone, joined by Nick Adcock, driver of the number 15 RLRM Sport. It's great to see Gillian Henrion putting it on pole again. He's got quite a lot of pace underneath him, that young man, doesn't he?
Yes, hasn't he, Justin? You know, we're all crossing our fingers in that qualifying session. CLX and Rinaldi were throwing everything at it. And Gillian is an incredibly fast driver, and it all came together. We've been fast ever since we unloaded the car. We used the same setup from Silverstone, and we've been tweaking it over the last couple of days, and yeah, he really earned his money there today. What a fantastic, not one lap, several laps going purple each time. So he'll be delighted. It's great for his confidence. It's great for the team who have worked so hard. We've had so many setbacks this year with contact from P2 cars, etc. So let's hope this is the start of ending the season on a massive high. So that's the first job done, pole position for Gillian.
Absolutely, and you'll be jumping in the car, of course, as well. Quite confident around Portimão. You've had good runs here before.
Well, remember the last 10 minutes here last year when we won the championship with Gail Julien. It's got really great memories. But personally, I love this track. I love coming to Portugal. Always got a good holiday feel about it. The sun's shining. I did a 6-hour race here in another prototype in May. So I'm really dialed into this track, and I really, really enjoy it. And the car that Frank LaRue, our engineer, is giving us will make it a pleasure.
All right, well, best of luck tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So Nick Adcock will finish his reign as a reigning ELMS champion tomorrow when the season results are confirmed here in the European Le Mans Series. But magnificent stuff there from the RLRM Sport crew, and in particular from young Guillaume Henry on a peerless result there. We move forward, and it's now time for LMP2 and the LMP2 Pro Am cars. 8 of them, all Orica Gibsons, powered by the 4.2 litre normally aspirated V8, built by Gibson Technologies in Repton in Derbyshire in the UK. The cars, all Orica 07s. Yes, this magnificent beast, and those cars built since 2017 by Orica on the Technopark at Paul Ricard, just on the literal other side of the fence from the Paul Ricard circuit. And what a package that has been. And with the Goodyear Eagles at each corner, it's just been producing fantastic racing over recent seasons here in the European Le Mans Series. LMP2 Pro-Am differs in one way only from the cars you'll see in our final session. That is that in Pro-Am, you must have a bronze driver. And it is the bronze, the non-pro driver, that will be at the wheel of the cars for the next 15 minutes of on-track action. DKR Engineering, Algarve Pro Racing, United Autosports, Nielsen Racing, TDS Racing, Proton Competition, AF Corsa and AO by TF are the teams. And Georgios Kolovos, Kriton and Tudis are 2 Greek drivers in the DKR and Algarve Pro cars respectively. Daniel Schneider from Brazil, John Falb from the USA, Rodrigo Sales from the USA, Giorgio Roda from Italy, Francois Perrodo, the London domicile Frenchman, and P.J. Hyatt from the United States of America in Spike. The LMP2 Dragon makes for a really, truly international field. Who's your money on?
Well, it's hard to look past PJ. PJ has been extraordinary, but then, you know, yeah, you just look up and down the grid, and there's plenty of guys that could still get it done. And
well, Giorgio Roda has had a target on his back for a while, and all of a sudden, PJ Hyatt has found his aim, without a shadow of a doubt. And they're making this very interesting. But you know, I'm looking at people like Georgios Kolovos, who's shown really great pace since he came into LMP2. John Falb knows how to pedal an LMP2 car. Rodrigo Sales as well. You know, such fantastic form he's got. If he can run error-free, he's always a threat there. Francois Perrodo, one of the most experienced bronzes on this, you know, he's overdue a good result in qualifying. There's been there and thereabouts. All sorts of possible storylines. But we're about to find out, because in about 15 minutes of time, plus 30 seconds, we're going to be going qualifying here at Portimão.
Yeah, Roda has been extremely fast all the way through this season and previous seasons. Asian Le Mans, you know, I think he locked out the front row, didn't he, for all of Asia?
He did. After locking out the season for ELMS the previous year.
Yeah.
We are just about a minute from this session going live. In terms of who's up for the cup, if you like, the 20 Algarve Pro Racing car leads the point standings by just 9 points. They have not scored a pole position. AO by TF, though, have scored 2 pole positions. And they've had 3 finishes on the podium and a win. Algarve Pro won last 2 times out here. They're the 2 separated by just 9 points. And the third car that's in it is still, mathematically, Francois Perrodo's number 83 AF Corsa car. They need pole position today.
Yeah, they had a really rough Silverstone, didn't they?
They did.
Big accident.
Still got home in 3rd, even after that accident.
Oh, of course they did.
They did. They got the car home, but it was a brush that damaged the 15 and then the 77. Mathieu Vazipiet, he can still smile through it. Multiple responsibilities in this paddock with his own LMP3 team nowadays in the Michelin Le Mans Cup.
Somebody's birthday.
Not mine.
No, I know
Unless
that.
I've forgotten that. I did forget my wedding anniversary this week.
Great work.
Mercifully, so did Trudy. So
she's desperately trying to forget
we've both not been very well, but That doesn't explain the wedding. That doesn't explain the forgetfulness. Still, oh well. Make that up to her at some point, dear me. Brief sojourns when I'm home. Away we go, and the clock immediately counting down, of course, from 15 minutes. There you can see the points spread, and Algarve Racing, with the form in the last 2 races, has just taken a grip of this. But AO by TF are not done.
No, they're not.
And they're going to be a force, whatever happens. And let's see what happens here in qualifying. But, the 2 parts of that equation: AO Racing for the United States, Gunnar Jeanette, and PJ Hyatt's project with Dane Cameron, and doing great guns in IMSA racing, and in the European Le Mans Series, collaborating with TF Sport, and that's all about bringing this team and their unique persona to international motorsport and to Le Mans in particular. And PJ Hyatt has already qualified for that with the success in IMSA. He gets one of the IMSA invitations to Le Mans next year. Could there be another? Might there be a request? Dear ACO, we love the fact you're going to let us bring our Purple Dragon car. We've got 2 automatic invitations. We'd love to bring a Green Dinosaur car as well. Is that at all possible? The rules, in theory, say no, but I think that might be quite an interesting question.
Yeah. Maybe they've already asked it.
Away we go. The unmistakable soundtrack of LMP2. Big drift there. Over to the curbs from
The 20 car, was that?
Crichton and Tudis.
Yeah.
Crichton, I said this to him the other day and he had a chuckle. It was you were there when they won their very first. He won his very first LMP2 race in extraordinary circumstances at Las Marina with an astounding strategic call around a safety car and emergency fuel, which second-guessed the entire film. One of the most extraordinary things I've ever seen in motorsport. And on that podium, he couldn't have got more surprised. But now he's kind of getting used to it, and it's great to see a driver that I believe came into this formula thinking this will be really fun, but I'll never win anything. And here he sits at the top.
Yeah, amazing. Really fantastic. A great story. And, somebody who's again passionate about it, about his racing, competing here in the ELMS and also in the P2 category in Pro-Am. It is a really special sort of unique blend of the car, the performance, the team, level of professionalism.
Yep.
You know, it's
a great fit with the Algarve Pro Racing team. You know, he clearly loves the vibe there. He's always seen in the team morning with his mate and racing mentor Bob Berridge.
Yeah.
And we worry if Bob's not sitting in that the same position on the sofa as we go by.
It's pretty consistent, isn't it?
Casey's died overnight or something, you know, but not so far. Always still in that seat, and it's a really nice vibe when this team gets together, and in particular with the young.
Just getting the John Brooks, Martin Havers vibe there. Sorry.
Just the it's particularly with the young drivers they've built up around them, including Milton Jacobsen, by the way, back in the day, and now Alex Quinn, who I think is in a very short list to be the next big thing.
Yeah, he was extremely fast at Petit Le Mans. He was exceptionally fast at the Petit Le Mans.
And the story, by the way, behind that was Milton Jacobsen's driver, Melter, knowing that Alex is bound for that seat next year, suggested to the team, the better idea, I can do a better job for you on the pit wall and guiding him and giving him the opportunity to race. That's the way that worked.
Yeah.
And what a shot window that's proved to be.
Yeah. Alex Quinn did an amazing job. That car was extremely fast in Atlanta.
I'll tell you right now, it will not be long before we see that kid testing the hypercar.
Yeah.
It just won't. It's undeniable that he should be on that list, and I'd be surprised if we didn't see him in the weeks to come testing something in the next class up, as well as enjoying his racing LMP2. To the timing and scoring screens, 5 minutes into this, and it is Daniel Schneider with a 1:39.273 that tops the times from Rodrigo Salas. Giorgio Roda, PJ Hyatt, then Crackman Tudis, Georgios Kolovos, John Falb and Francois Perroza. The last two have not yet put in a time, but now the big times are coming. Rodrigo Salas leading the way now with a 1:35.313, just a tenth ahead of PJ Hyatt. So it's the 1:35s and lower that are going to be the pole position times here. Giorgio Roda already making a mockery of that with he's already 8/10 up after the first sector.
Yeah.
That's a monstrous time.
Yeah, he's just all of a sudden got that thing dialed in. It's go time. It's in the slot. He's ready to go. And the car, the front end of that car looks fantastic. Very direct. He feels comfortable and happy with it, very confident. And I mean, he is a bit of a qualifying machine.
As if to accentuate, by the way, the battle to get in the next 10 minutes. PJ Hyatt's just bettered that first sector time. Giorgio Roda, though, goes purple in the second sector now, and he's 1.4 seconds up after 2 sectors on the provisional pole time. And Hyatt says, well, anything you can do, sunshine, I can do better, because he's taken another 2/10 out of that.
Yeah, he has.
This is a remarkable period for the European Le Mans Series, the bronze talent that's coming through here. We said for the longest time, Giorgio Roda has been the man to beat, and he's going to come across to take provisional pole with a 1:33.287, but not for long.
Whoa, it's going to be close here with PJ.
Using all the road. Spike coming roaring down, and it's a 1:33.0. He's a quarter of a second up. That's a fantastic qualifying lap from PJ Hyatt.
Yeah, what can Giorgio do in response? Just waiting for that first sector. Is he going to be able to get something done? And I know that Rodrigo Salas is going to continue to press on.
Track limits, I'm afraid, for Giorgio Roda in response. So this lap, the next minute and a half, is going to be a tough one for him, knowing it's not going to count.
Yeah, it's difficult because it's right the slot, right the time. Then you want to be executing that lap, and you know it's PJ has just he's gone purple in that first sector as well, and no track limits for him.
Yeah, so he's going to be turning on the style and turning on the pressure and turning on all the other things you can at this stage, with several halfway through the session. 1:33.014 is the time to beat. The man that looks most likely to beat it is the man that set it right now with PJ Hyatt. Giorgio Roda, 0.273 back, and after that it's a further half a second to Rodrigo Salas.
PJ quarter of a second up now through sector 2.
What an astounding near vertical curve his form has taken.
He's driving so much.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show, when you're in the seat behind the wheel, getting the miles under your belt, it really does pay dividends.
With the right people behind
Yeah,
him.
of course, absolutely.
And, you know,
brilliant teams.
They invest in the likes of Tom
Oh, there we go.
Jeanette, and that's a 1:32.511, 7/8 of a second up this time. And that's a spirit-breaking lap from PJ Hyatt.
Yeah, let's see if Giorgio's got anything in response there.
He's lifted right off on that lap with track limits, so he's looked after the car. PJ's immediately lifted off at the end of that lap, and he's gone purple. So Giorgio Roda is responding here, and he is, well, that's half a tenth up on the provisional pole time after sector 1. It's going to be all about the next 4 kilometres or so.
Yeah, is PJ just going to cool it and then look to go again, or is that it?
77 car has an entirely clear track ahead. 6 minutes to go. PJ will be hearing from the team that the car that's in contention with him is fast and on track behind him. He's a tenth down after the second sector. There's time to make that up, though. The remaining, 1.5 kilometres. Crossing the line comes Georgios Kolovos to secure third place, but is immediately shuffled back by John. Oh, massive wiggle there from Giorgio Roda.
Car bottomed out. He might be track limits as well.
Did well to keep the damn thing on the island, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Crosses the line now. What's that going to be? It's off by 7 or 8 tenths, and that was almost a loss of control in the final sector. That just goes
regroup,
to show, though,
go again.
How edgy that PJ Hyatt had to be to deliver the time that he delivered.
Absolutely. Oh, I think he's unsettled the car there. It's really spiked the rear tyres, possibly. just flash the surface there. He'd start to lose grip from the surface of the tyre.
Very good lap underway at the moment from John Falb, by the way. He's just a 10th off PJ Hyatt's time after sector 1. It needed to be a little bit closer than that for this to be a challenging lap. The pole position. PJ back up to speed now, lifted off, gave himself a bit of a cool down. Now it's go time again.
Yeah, John Falb's doing a nice job. It's a little bit off.
Yeah, second sector not going to be good enough for John, I'm afraid. But
PJ's gone purple in the first sector. It's just
by
delivering
0.2 of a second.
Wow. What did he have for breakfast?
Wow. So, what else is achievable here? Surely not under a 32.
We'll see how he goes in this second sector. John Falb to come across the line, goes P3. PJ is purple as well in the second sector.
He's a quarter of a second up on his previous time. This is on track to be in the low 32s if he makes no further progress in sector 3. Sector 3 we know gets trickier as you get deeper into the life of these tyres. Down he comes down the hill. You can see the finish line now, 1:32.51 it was.
600th.
And he's 600th off. He's delivering a message here today, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, what did I say at the start of the session?
I don't know, was it good?
Well, I said PJ.
You did, and you're right. And, you know, for me, it's a game. We talked about it earlier in the show, Ollie, when we talked about LMGT3, giving the non-professional drivers the opportunity to do this discipline, the qualifying discipline, unlocks something very special indeed.
Yeah, it is. It is. And you know, when you've got someone as good as Giorgio Roda and he's not able to really respond and he's 7/10 off, you know that PJ has really got that car hooked up. Rodrigo Salas in TDS car is now P2. Yeah, that TDS outfit are very, very good, very special. Just locked up the championship in IMSA. And, you know, they clearly run a very, very quick car. And I know Rodrigo is a big fan of theirs, continues to run with them.
To put that time into context, by the way, PJ Hyatt's 1:32.511. The fastest time we've seen all weekend in free practice from the pro drivers is a single second quicker than that.
That is impressive, isn't it?
1:31.445 by Matteo Caroli, the number 9 car in free practice 2. That is a factory hypercar driver from his Lamborghini days. Matteo Caroli is a single second ahead on ideal running, it would seem. We'll have to see what happens in the next session of PJ Hyatt.
PJ going again for another lap here.
He needs to, because Giorgio Roda has just put in an absolutely enormous first sector. Rodrigo Salas is up into second now. They're both up. They are both up on the previous time, as is PJ Hyatt.
Yeah.
So all three of the top three, after the first sector of the laps they're now on, are up on the provisional pole time with a single minute to go. It's another purple sector for Giorgio Roda. He could grab this here.
He could.
It's about the run down the hill where he made the mistake last time. What has he learned from that? Has he got the grip left in the good years to let him use the power and the aerodynamics of this car to put together this lap? Rodrigo Salas is up on the pole time after sector 2 as well. PJ Hyatt is wrong side of the line on this one. Here he comes. 1:32.511. 1:32.467, 44 thousandths per second. And Giorgio Roda goes to pole position. I thought that was done.
I did as well.
That was done. That is a magnificent response from Giorgio Roda.
Extraordinary.
And we've still got time on the clock. PJ Hyatt goes through. No improvement for him. Rodrigo Salas does improve, but 3/10 off the pole position time, the provisional pole position. On the left there, Gianluca Roda, Giorgio's dad, himself race winner in European Le Mans Series in years past. A very keen racing family. Different body language altogether in AO by TF. I think they thought that was done as well.
This is not going to happen for PJ, not now. He's 6/10 off.
Well,
that was the final roll of the dice. Cool. Giorgio kept that to the very, very last minute, didn't he?
Massive credit to Giorgio Roda for that lap.
Yeah.
Massive credit.
He's managed to pull that out. So that's not going to count. I think he's going to get track limits there.
He's got a purple sector there.
I think it's going to get pinged because I think he was with wide there at 11. Maybe not.
Checkered flag is out. All the cars being greeted by the checkered flag. That includes Georgios Kolovos. No better than 5th for him. The 21 United Autosports car with Daniel Schneider will finish the session 7th. John Falb pits 4th quickest. So crossing the line, 2/10 off his best, is Giorgio Roda, and it will be pole position for Giorgio Roda for the number 77 Proton competition, Orica, and AO by TF's PJ Hyatt will come in now to complete the session.
400ths off.
And a mark of the progress from him is he's going to be bitterly disappointed with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, he will be. No doubt. No doubt. Drove brilliantly. Both of them did. Fantastic.
Great stuff. There is our pole position sitter again.
And credit to Rodrigo Sales. I mean, that was a strong effort. And John Falb there.
Yep. It's
all within a second.
All within a second, but the top 3/10 of a second separating them. The top 2, 44 thousandths. There is the result of LMP2 Pro-Am qualifying. 1:32.467 Proton competition from Germany in the hands of Italian racer Giorgio Roda. Takes pole position, snatches it at the death from the 99 AO by TF efforts. American flagged, British operated, despite the LMP2 Dragon. PJ Hyatt, 44 thousandths of a second, the gap at the line. TDS Racing, Nielsen Racing, D-Car Engineering, AF Corsa, United Autosports and Algar Pro Racing make up the remainder of the 8-car LMP2 Pro-Am field that will start the championship deciding race tomorrow afternoon. Check on YouTube or your local broadcast channel that's carrying the European Le Mans Series for the time in your region. It's going to be some race. But 4 hours of Portimão it is to complete the season. A Saturday race, I'll remind you once again. Qualifying here on Friday. And that will allow both the end of season celebrations and the Sunday rookie test for both the European Le Mans Series and the Michelin Le Mans Cup to take place over this weekend. There is our pole sitter, the number 77 car. I think Giorgio Roda is going to be elated with that.
He really did pull that out. I mean, that didn't look like that was going to happen at all. He looked like he was on the ropes.
That was
no response.
Massive response.
Yeah, really impressive.
But his frustration is going to be at the end of this season that again they are simply not converting his qualifying pace into race results.
Yeah, and that's something that they've really got to look at. Why? Why is that?
So there we go. PJ Hyatt second, but it is Giorgio Roda that will take pole position here once again in what's been an amazing period of time for the Italian racer in qualifying form. Out the car he gets. Yes, he's pleased with that one. He's got every reason to be.
Very happy. Very cool.
Yeah. It's a physical task, but it's a psychological task as well to get stuck in with the margins that you don't have in a race car in those conditions. And to push that hard and have that trust in a place like this.
Yeah, I mean, it is always a fine balance. PJ there, just standing there with Rodrigo and John Falb and just comparing notes maybe on how their sessions have gone and what they saw or what they felt, how their cars were. It's always interesting to debrief with other drivers and what they've seen from the session and what little issues they had or what they needed to do or where they felt they were missing something or, oh, what about this bit of curb here or did you use that bit of track or how am I lining up for this turn one and, you know, all those things. It just is interesting just to get that information.
And the interesting thing for me as well is it's often about the people. We've got the LMP2 field now coming out to the pit apron. Is this mixture of at times visceral rivalry and friendship, camaraderie.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's great. It's a great part of pretty much any sport.
It is.
And it's great to see it at that level.
Yeah, certainly with those bronze drivers, this is not their living. You know, this really is their passion. It's something they're really developing and trying to excel at in their ranking. And you know, it's certainly something that they're all endeavouring to be the very best version that they possibly can in the race car. And so they're all digging deep. They've all got people here to coach them and to advise them, to guide them, to get them better over the race weekend or over the season or over multiple seasons. So they were all really trying to find that last little bit. And so when they see someone like PJ, who's really done that over the season, where he's really taken some big steps and big gains from driving cars both on this side of the Atlantic and also back on in the United States, you sort of see, wow, what development. But today, he was beaten by Giorgio Roda, who just found some amazing performance there on those last couple of laps.
Should mark, by the way, one of the significant moments determined by that qualifying session, and because the 83 car did not set pole, they now cannot win the LMP2 Pro Am Championship. So that is, Francois Perrodo will not add another championship this year to his astounding list of endurance racing accomplishments. We'll tell you, by the way, a quick chat with Francois. He intends to be back next year, which is a pleasant surprise.
Great, that's great.
So good to see that he's going to be bouncing back with what is always a great-looking and highly competitive effort in LMP2 and LMP2 Pro-Am with AF Corsa. About to get ready to go in what is that under 3 minutes time now with the 12 cars, one down here with the withdrawal of the number 37 CLX Pure Racing effort earlier this week. Injury to Alex Malikin in GT World Challenge last weekend. So 12 cars it will be. These will be full pro drivers going for it. So you're going to see pretty much how quickly an LMP2 car will now go in this current iteration of the European Le Mans Series. Fairly unfettered, you know, in terms of the 2017 package that was put together for LMP2, which has still got another couple of seasons to go before we see the next generation of cars racing. They just seem to get quicker and more competitive. Great pack racing, and we'll see Ironlinks Proton, Vector Sport, EDEC Sport, United Autosports and Nielsen Racing, Algarve Pro, EDEC Sport's second car. There's two cars here, one of which is part of the trajectory program for Genesis Magma Racing.
Easy for you to say.
I know. And their hypercar program that gets underway competitively next season. Duquesne team, two from Inter-Europol competition, the single car from CLX Motorsport, and one absolutely to watch, VDS Panis Racing.
These are all silver drivers, aren't they?
They can field the gold in this.
Can they?
They can field the gold in this. A couple of, we're going to be interested to see exactly who's given the qualifying opportunity here. And looking at the list of drivers that are on the timing screens, it's not necessarily the drivers that are going to be taken to the track. And
sorry, excuse me.
Okay, just to take a moment to recognise, we talked earlier today during the Michelin Le Mans Cup session, Tom Fleming selected by LMEM to be the nominated rookie for the WC rookie test in LMGT3. The nominated rookie for the rookie test at Bahrain for hypercar will be Ollie Gray from the VDS Panis Racing team. So it's two young Brits, of which I'm particularly proud. And Ollie Gray, for me, what a massive step forward we've seen from him year to year with VDS Panis Racing. And kudos to Olivier Panis and his team, and kudos as well to TDS Racing who run that car. They will be back. He's, I believe, got a tick up to gold for next season for FIA driver rankings, which brings with it some challenges in terms of the availability of funded drives for him. But on the basis of the pace we've seen, the form we've seen from young Ollie Gray this year, we mentioned Alex Quinn earlier, those two should be mentioned in the same breath. I think we will see that young man elevated to quite the career in the next few years.
Yeah, definitely. He's done a very, very good job this year.
It's a great opportunity, isn't it, here to see almost like what are we going to be seeing in hypercar in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah,
There's going to be a number of drivers here that we'll see from that. This field has evolved from something a couple of years ago where there were a huge number of established stars, there still are in this field, to a different feel where we've got an awful lot more drivers on the way up the ladder. What it's doing is selling endurance racing as a shop window. Gilles Duquesne there in Duquesne Team's garage. The number 30 car is out there. Who's out there? Matteo Caroli, iLinks Proton. Pietro Fittipaldi, Vector Sport. Pietro feeling a little under the weather earlier this weekend. Mathis Chaubert now named as a hypercar driver after just a single season here in LMP2 for Genesis Motor Racing. He's in the number 18 Lead Sport car. Gregor Salsi, WEC LMGT3 driver. Ferdy Habsburg, race winner in the WEC at Fuji just a few weekends ago. Thierry Pourchaire heading to Peugeot in the hypercar. Job van Utrecht, who's been a stalwart at EDEX Sports. Resto de Geras, Pedro Perino. Nick Yellowly, hypercar and GTP form on his CV. Manuel Espirito Santo, and another of the young men we're going to be hearing and seeing a lot more of, Esteban Masson, a driver who Toyota Gazoo Racing have got their eyes very firmly on. Lots and lots of talent, lots and lots of pace. And what can they now do with it with 13.5 minutes left on the clock for qualifying here at Portimão? Looking forward to this one, Ollie?
Oh, absolutely. Always great to see these cars out here on track and having all the pro drivers behind the wheel. We're really going to see what these cars can do.
So established stars, emerging stars, in comes the 25 immediately.
Yeah, we're seeing this. We saw this in the Pro-Am session. A number of cars just do an outlap and then come straight back in again, and they may well do a tyre change here. I think some teams are scrubbing tyres. Again, it's different strategies and different ways of doing things. But yeah, that's certainly one of the things that some teams are looking to do. A couple of the teams here, so it's Algarve Pro are doing it. And I can't see who that is a bit further up. Oh, is that into Europol, I believe.
Both into Europol cars we're hearing from Steph, and the number 9 car from the iLinks Proton, all on pit lane. There's the pit lane camera showing us work underway at Algarve Pro Racing. There is the number 9 iLinks Proton car, Matteo Caroli aboard that car.
Slip pit work, tyres done, there they go. Europol just getting their ducks in a row here.
3 cars, by the way, left in a position where they could win the championship here. It is the VDS Panis Racing team that lead the way with 81 points. EDEX Sports 18 car, that is the Genesis backed car on 75, and then 74 points. It's the 43 into Europol car. So watch for those 3 teams in particular in this session and beyond. They're the ones in it to win it. Beyond that, it's been all sorts of tales of, in some times woe, in some times spotty form. But away we go for the final, what now, 11.5 minutes of qualifying for what's been another great season in the European Le Mans Series.
As the times come in, they're disappearing down the order. There's lots of people who've managed to get the tyre up to temperature. Moment is Job van Utrecht, who's P1 with IDEX Sport.
Yeah,
but that's not so representative. I'm sure we're going to see significant improvement on that.
Well, to give an idea of how representative that time is, Ferdy Habsburg's just gone through sector 1, 3/4 second ahead of that schedule for provisional pole. This is noteworthy. This is the 28 car from EDEX Sports in a special livery this weekend to mark 10 years, the 10th anniversary of the team, now based at Paul Ricard in fabulous new premises, right next door to the workshop, the HQ they built, EDEX Sport built for Genesis Magna Racing. So all on the red flag. Now what's the red flag about here?
See any of that.
25 car, I think, has stopped. Oh dear me, has.
Yikes.
So 25 car in the hands of Thierry Pourchaire is off the road and in the barrier. That's bad news for Theo.
Where is that on the track?
It's at turn 10.
10.
Not an angle I'm used to seeing.
No.
has he done that?
Come out on cold tyres and just lost it. And
I'm just looking
arrowed
at
off.
the track through the gravel. It doesn't look like he spun it through the gravel. He's just driven straight off.
It's one of those where it's snapped maybe, and then he's just sent himself on a certain trajectory and he's not been able to correct.
Yeah, you look at it from that angle, and
yeah, has he had a spin?
I wonder. I'll tell you, I'll just sit there and wait for the intervention guys to get to him.
Could take some time to get that out, pull that out. He's quite deep in there, isn't he? His nose is buried.
So, brief interruption. It is for an incident for Théo Pourchaire in the number 25 Algarve Pro racing car. That car had been in for an early session, for the very first lap indeed, change of tyres. Not good news for tyre management for everybody else, and not good news for poor Théo Pourchaire either.
I think some are going to use it again as an opportunity to scrub a set of tyres here.
Yeah.
Seeing pictures of Stewie Cox brooding.
See what happens here.
Oh, he's lost it before even coming over the crest. He has definitely gone backwards through the gravel. It's spun around and come face first, head first in.
So concern from Stewie Cox there in the garage, and he'll be concerned first and foremost about his driver, and second very much about the Orica. It's about 24 hours before this car's got to go racing. Happily for Algarve Pro Racing, they're not very far from their home base.
No, they've got all the bits and pieces
Sam
they're
and
going to
Stu,
need.
British couple, but have lived and worked out here in the Algarve for as long as I've known them, and extremely proud to fly the flag of their adopted nation, Portugal.
We're just seeing the tyre marks there of him going off the road. It certainly looks like it.
Carried some speed, didn't he?
He did, and it's unusual.
It's a weird place to go off.
Yeah, for it to let go right there. Maybe we'll see another shot of that shortly, but it is a bit unusual.
The car about to be towed out of the barrier. I believe Théo is aboard that black minibus. There you go. I don't think there's huge damage to the barrier.
No, I think that's going to be okay.
I think they might well look to see whether or not the tyres need to be reordered. It's the banding that covers them that might need to be refastened, but I don't think he hit it that hard.
No, I think we've got a shot inside the Algarve Pro garage, and I think that they're looking right now just to see exactly what happened. Maybe they've got some other onboard stuff or
data.
Or data they're going to look at, yeah.
Astounding what they can see in terms of the live telemetry from these cars and what they can work out afterwards. That effectively then means we're down to 11.
Yeah.
I'll tell you at the moment that with what will not prove to be a representative time unless we continue to get interruptions, it is Job van Uitert for EDEC Sport, the number 28 car that leads the session. Head of VDS Panis Racing's Esteban Masson, and then the second EDEC car in the hands of Mathis Joubert. But to that point, we'd only actually had 7 of the 12 cars that had actually set a flying lap. Johnny is a bit late. The session red flagged for an incident involving the 25 Algarve Pro racing car, the Orica of Théo Pourchaire, newly minted Peugeot factory driver, had pitted the car very early on. Doesn't look to be very much damage to the front of that car at all. And had a very odd incident up at turn 10.
Yeah, we're just on another shot. I'm just seeing Olivier Panis talking through something in his garage, and he's using the classic racing driver sort of hand signals, and it just looks, maybe there's a bump there, and there you go, that's his explanation. On cold tyres, if there's a bump, the car can just all of a sudden snap, like he's explaining, and the car just got around and away and backwards into the wall, and that will be my explanation as well.
Yeah. So track falls quiet just for a few moments while we get car out of barrier, car behind barrier, and all the intervention
Well,
kit and caboodle.
This always makes every team super nervous when you've got the car there
In the air.
and it's just being moved around. Yes, they've got the guy in the front, guy on the back, really trying to direct it, but it is such a cumbersome sort of bit of work, and every team has got their heart in their mouths just waiting to see if it's going to bump into something, because a bump at that sort of, when the car is like that, can be, again, something that does some significant damage.
Yeah, I mean, we see the intervention crews every single race.
They're well trained. I'm not saying
the left. Yes, absolutely. We've seen catastrophes in other motorsport, and I can remember some very valuable Formula One cars in historic racing being dropped from cranes in Monaco.
But that's just it. It just looks so vulnerable, the race car does in those situations.
Completely alien place to see it is on the end of a string.
Yes, exactly.
But I can well imagine the beast you've put your time, energy, and resource into, utterly helpless, and it's.
You just have everything crossed that they're well trained, they're doing their job. The guy on the Manitou can actually work it well and just direct it and just put it back down on the ground in a nice, safe spot.
Just a quick shot in the garage at the Export there with Paul Lafargue. He'll be in action tomorrow aboard the number 28 car that sits at the top of timing and scoring right now. Said the team opting to finish the season with a celebratory 10th anniversary livery on that car. I'll say out loud, by the way, when I saw that livery in a render, I was entirely underwhelmed. And then I saw it on track. It looks great.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, brilliant.
It's not its best angle there, but from the front, it's just a pearlescent white finish, and then the racing stripes on the front of that car.
Yeah, beautiful.
It is much nicer than the sum of its parts.
Right.
You describe that, but actually it looks great. So we wait for advice from race control as to when we're going to get this session back underway. I don't think it's going to be much longer. They're taking a look, and they are indeed doing some rebanding at the front of the tyre barrier.
The sun going down, it might just start to get a little bit challenging for some of the drivers, where the angle of the sun, with all of the different ups and downs here at Portimão, that it could well be that there is a bit of sunlight in the eyes. Ferdy Habsburg.
Yep, the racing driver with the longest name in motorsport.
Royalty.
He is, in all sorts of ways. And you know what? He's a fantastic character.
He is.
He's a fantastic character. And as I say, coming back from Japan with an overall win, the very first for the current iteration of Alpine Hypercar. 2 wins in the days when they were running the grandfathered LMP1 car in Hypercar, but the very first for their LMDH spec car.
Yeah.
In what was a fantastic race at Fuji.
Yeah, it was.
All came together nicely and sets up things nicely for the season finale at Bahrain. Still lots and lots of racing still to come this year, if not this season. This is, of course, the finale for the European Le Mans Series. We're going to have that race on Saturday, but then in the first weekend in November, we have the season finale for the FIA World Endurance Championship, and in the first weekends of December, you and I are off on our hollybobs to Sepang.
Wouldn't exactly call it our hollybobs.
It is grueling, but it is fun for the opening week, double-header weekend for the Asian Le Mans Series, with an amazing grid of cars, very many of which feature here this weekend, but some really, really interesting additions. And if you follow the sports in a lot of detail, which I know a lot of you do, that follow it through our broadcast, through the news sites, through social media, through the Discord channels and the Reddit groups, there's going to be some interesting names on the injury list as well. Always great to see some clues of what's going to come in maybe more established series in 2026.
Yeah.
And there's absolutely several of those. So looking forward to that. That's a long week in Sepang, in what can be quite challenging conditions for those of us that live in more temperate climates. And then, of course, the back-to-back weekends in the UAE. And we wait and see whether or not that's the last time we do that, as the championship continues to evolve in its post-COVID era.
Right.
They're feeling, I'm sure, more and more confident with the level of full season entries. of returning to its roots in a more Southeast Asia-based calendar. They turned a lot of cars away this year. I'm hearing a number, and that number was 16.
Wow. That's extraordinary.
Which would take the potential entry, were there a track in Southeast Asia able to cope with it, over 60.
Gee.
It's a remarkable time in endurance racing right now.
That is extraordinary. Great numbers and great to see. You know, it certainly reflects exactly where the sport is at the moment. And, you know, whether that's in GT3 or if you're in P3, P2, or even looking at the hypercar class, which is something that's going to come in the Asia Le Mans Series in 26, 27.
Well, I'll tell you what, while we're under red flag, I'll just give a little bit of a teaser for that. So there's been all sorts of things talked about what might and what might not happen. Session will restart in approximately 5 minutes, we're hearing from race control. So approximately 5 minutes is in about 5 minutes' time. Just translate that for you. So we've heard public comments from the ACO president, Pierre Fillon, that's effectively said he'd be happy with 2 to 3 cars. We've heard one public statement from Stefan Rattel, because SRO for the last few years have co-promoted to great effect the Asia Le Mans Series with LMEM, that he would expect there to be 7 to 8 cars potentially. I can tell you that I am tracking a definite 2.
Right.
And I can tell you that those 2 have not been mentioned by anybody else publicly at all.
Right.
And you'd never guess. It's a cracking...
It's not me.
It's not you.
No.
No. Come on, let's keep it real.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if that's the case, and I know there's others working on it, there's a few dreamer ideas out there as well. These are not cheap cars to run. They are going to require proper technical support in what is not, you know, a cheap series.
No.
And there's a lot of travel involved in this. But I think there's reason to be intrigued, not yet excited about the prospect of that coming. And it's coming for 2 reasons. It's coming because they want to encourage teams in Asia and gentlemen drivers in Asia to look at prototype racing. Asian motorsport loves a brand. It just does. You know, in talking to team owners, race organisers across Asia, when we talk about Orica and Ligier, we know these are fantastic cars, but they're not necessarily brands that the Asian marketplace, motorsport marketplace, is that familiar with. So I think the feeling is that they believe there's more prospect of a privateer marketplace with some of the huge brands in hypercar in Asia that might be in
pit lane,
Europe.
we are starting in 25 seconds. 25 seconds to resume the session.
So that's a little bit quicker than he promised. So we'll wait and see whether or not we do get a count for that. The second thing is they're looking to return to the roots in Southeast Asia. And the third thing is we're not done
9,
yet
8,
with the hypercar
7,
marketplace
6,
and factories.
5, 4,
We'll wait to
3,
hear more
2,
GG.
1. Session has been resumed. Qualifying session has been resumed.
Get this back going again. These guys are all going to be chomping at the bit.
So it's going to be 10 minutes now, effectively, this session. It's almost a complete reset, because that was, I would say, just about enough time to cool the tyres down to pretty much where they started.
Room temperature.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think it could play into the hands of some of the teams that actually ended up stopping just on that first, sort of like after that one out lap, and just sticking the new set on. But I don't think we're going to be seeing anybody else do that. I think it's just going to be, let's get out, let's go, let's just get this done. 10 minutes is not a lot of time, you know, particularly with the length of the lap here, around that 1 minute 30, 90 seconds. Yeah, the time just goes by very, very quickly. Not many laps.
No, and this is going to be sort of a different feel now. It's effectively 2/3 of a session, isn't it? But still with the same thing up for grabs. Maybe that will take just the ultimate edge out of some of this. That's it.
No, all of these youngsters will be able to extract the absolute maximum from these cars. Let's just see again. This drone shot is just amazing. Love it. Really, really great stuff.
Matteo Caroli there aboard the number 9 car. Yet to put in a rapid lap time in that car, and see what What occurs with Matteo, it's not the best of luck in terms of his career choices of late. With the Lamborghini hypercar was a bit of a cul-de-sac for him, and the switch to the Iron Lynx program from Lamborghini to AMG took him with it, and that's...
He's just always been on the wrong end.
Yeah.
Every decision, it's just, oh, not quite, oh, not quite, and it just seems like it's never quite like linked up for him.
I'd like to see him get a shot at a discipline that would suit him well. And for me, I think he's a stellar endurance driver. I'd love to see this kid in the DTM or around Macau. I think he's got the right attitude, outlook. I think he's got the right level of aggression for that, and a career that takes him to both extremes of sports car racing and GT racing. I think you'd see him light back up. I'd hate for us to look back and think that was the moment at which his career took a wrong turn and he didn't recover from it, because I think he's one of the very best.
He is very, very good. Just needs that opportunity.
Pedro Perino aboard the number 34 car for Winter Europol competition. And they're pushing along nicely now, just getting the heat into the tyres in this opening salvo, 2.5 minutes into this rejuvenated session after the red flag to recover Thierry Pourchaire's damaged Algarve Pro car running off track on cold tyres. So here's the first offering from Perino. He goes to the top with a 135.152, and included, by the way, a purple third sector. So there's more to come. It was interesting to me how quickly some of these guys can actually get back up to a meaningful speed, and that was pretty quick from Perino. It's not always the best way.
No, it's not. And I'm just watching this on board with the CLX car that's gone very slowly through 13, 14. Got after it coming off of there. He's looking to get onto a quick lap now, but it's interesting to sort of see him be going so slowly just straight out the pits. And here's the two cars battling it through and the exit of turn 14. It's the IDEX sport car, and I couldn't see who was the other car.
I think that was the 47. I think it might have been the 40. That might have been why he was coming down that hill so slowly.
It's a bit odd. Very
odd.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're starting now to see some of the relevant pace emerging, and that starts with Mathis Jobert, a 134.810. But there's others that are quicker behind him, and quicker by knocking on for 2 seconds. In fact, in one case, more than that.
There's a lot of purple there, isn't there?
Cairoli's on absolute tear. So too is Esteban Masson. Jobert leads the way. I don't think for long a 134.810 is the mark to beat, but the reality is 9 of the remaining 11 cars have gone purple quicker than that. Perino goes to the top. That's a 134.513. He's having a bit of a purple patch. Cairoli goes to the top, 131.342. Now we're getting the representative time.
Yeah, that's the benchmark right there.
Yeah, 132.1, 132.5. That's Habsburg and Masson. They're in the window, but not anywhere close to what Cairoli squeezed out of this. There are still, though, against that pace, multiple cars that showing purple up on that delta on the current lap. So Matteo Cairoli not secure yet. Manuel Espirito Santo, he goes second, 37 thousandths of a second off. Gregoire Sosi to the top, 19 thousandths of a second.
I think Yellowly.
Yeah, top 3 separated by 56 thousandths of a second. Then Richard de Geras, it's fourth in the order. Track limits for a couple of the cars in the upper part of this. Jobert is going quickly. Cairoli is going quickly. Yellowly goes to the top, as you said he likely would, by a quarter of a second. He's the first into the 130s, 130.957.
Cairoli's up, though. He's up.
And well
nearly
up.
3/10 on Yellowly. It's all just going to, it's the dominoes that are going to tumble now. I think we're going to see a little bit of this for the next couple of laps between Yellowly, Cairoli. Who else is going to be able to do it?
A chain of 6 cars having done track limits in the first sector.
All following one another.
Absolutely. So where Cairoli, though, he's just lost the time from the top. He goes top 1:30.771. Now, why was that? Someone lost a lap time there.
Yellowly is so close.
Perino lost a lap time. Saucy lost a lap time. Yellowly is under 2 cents off and very, very close on your right on this current lap to pole position pace. So is Mathis Jobert.
Masson's not far off in the VDS car. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Oh, Yellowly's just a little bit off there in that second sector. He's now 3/4 of a second off.
Saucy puts a lap time in good enough now for 5th. So from the top to the bottom, back up towards the top end of things. Grégoire Saucy finding his pace. Half a second separates the top 5. There's another change. Jobert goes second, 43 thousandths of a second off Matteo Cairoli. So Cairoli from Jobert, from Yellowly from Masson, from Saucy. And then Manuel Espirito Santo, who's still going to show here. Pietro Fittipaldi's on a quick lap, but way down the order at the moment, needs to pull this lap together.
Yeah, you can't really take your eyes off the screen. The timing screens are all still green. There's a lot of that. There's got purple there with Nick Yellowly.
Yellowly looking quick here. He's up on pole position time after sector 1, but there's a long way to go on that lap.
There's nothing in it with a lot of these guys. Job van Oort, he's 11th, but he could go all the way to the front right now.
Jobert is looking quick. Yellowly looking particularly quick. And beyond that, others, what's happened there? Van Oort goes from 11th up to 4th. He's under 2 tenths off pole position. Nothing in it. The spread for the top 10, 8 tenths of a second. What changed there? That was Esteban Masson, I think, changing. Mathis Jobert will not improve on this lap.
Yellowly is just not quite quick enough in that second sector. He's losing a couple of tenths there after doing a personal very best in that first sector. So let's see.
Van Oort's on a quick one here as well. Don't count him out.
Yellowly's pitting.
So that will be him done. Yellowly will be no better than 3rd, but his position is under threat at the moment from Job van Oort, 4th, but up on the pole time after the first sector. Others very close as well. Pietro Fittipaldi could be a surprise package at the end here. So too could Manuel Espirito Santo. So too could Richard de Geus, already a pole position setter in the European Le Mans Series this year. Jobert will not improve, or has not improved on this lap. He's done track limits. 1 minute to go. It'll be this lap and no other for Jobert to challenge Matteo Cairoli. Cairoli's on a good lap. It's almost matching his previous best. He doesn't improve. He'll get one more go. Jobert within around a tenth off after sector 1, and multiple others.
Oh, very good final sector there from. Oh no, excuse me.
That's Nick Yellowly. Yeah, who's on pit lane.
Excuse me.
No. That's Grégoire Saucy. May have burned his last chance with track limits in the second sector. Jobert is up on the pole time after sector 2. Could this be the result? Cairoli trying hard to defend his position, but he's slightly off his own best pace. Also up, Job van Oort. The 2 EDEX Sport cars 1,000th apart on their deltas at the moment.
Extraordinary. Jobert on his backed off. He's boxed.
Now, why would that be? He must have made a mistake.
They were most really watching on the telemetry.
That's why.
Nope.
No. Watching. Who's to watch here? It's not going to be an improvement for Matteo Cairoli. He's done track limits. It could be Job van Oort. He passes the second sector 6 thousandths off pole position pace.
Can he just feed the speed through turn 14, wind the throttle in, use all the road on the exit there, and then it's just about picking your points through turn 15, threading it through over the bump, not using too much curb there on the exit, and up and over the crest. He stays 4th.
No, stays 4th, loses a quarter of a second in the final sector, takes the checkered flag. He's the first to take the checkered flag. I don't think we're going to see any other meaningful improvements here. Pietro Fittipaldi has improved, but only up as far as 6th place for Vector Sports. It's so close. 0.2 of a second separates the top 5 cars, and 0.4 of a second separate the top 10.
Nice job there from Matteo.
It's done. It is going to be Matteo Caroli. And there he is, out of the car. He'll be quietly, Riley delighted with that.
Yeah, we're just seeing inside the garage. Oh, there's Christian Reed there.
He's going to be pleased as well, and quite right too. It's been a challenging couple of weeks for Christian.
Yeah.
Lots going on.
Yeah, he's had his hands full.
Hasn't he just? All sorts of cars and programmes flying left, right and centre.
Yeah, seems to be at the centre of it all.
He does indeed. I'm not sure that's where he wants to be right now.
It didn't seem that way when I met him earlier on today.
Yes, indeed. It's all sorts of stories flying. Most of them absolute nonsense, by the way.
Yeah.
But
great for everybody there at Iron Lynx and Proton. It's really a top performance from Matteo.
Nick Yelly looked as if he might grab it. No better than third at the end. They
strange that they pitted there. On that final lap.
There will be a reason. Then we've got the second placed car.
Did the same.
Mathis Chaubert. What's that all about? There's going to be a reason behind that too. But it's the Iron Lynx Proton number 9 car on pole position. Matteo Caroli. Let's go down where Steph is with Matteo Capietto.
I'm joined by Matteo Capietto, driver of the number 9 Iron Lynx Proton competition. Matteo's just put it on pole. What a fantastic start to the final weekend of the year.
Yeah, this is the perfect start. We were quick in the practices. Now to conclude with pole position, it's a great start for the rest of the weekend.
And of course, LMP2 is extremely competitive. What are you expecting from the race this weekend?
I think the idea now is to just take off from the lead and see what we can do. But yeah, I expect a good race. We were quick in the practice, so there's no reason. So let's see what we can do.
How is the car feeling underneath you? It's been quite warm temperatures all weekend so far.
Yeah, let's say it's a bit difficult physically, but it was expected. And last year was much worse, so I'm quite happy that the temperature is still quite, let's say, average. So yeah, expect a good race.
All right, best of luck tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Steph. And yeah, great performance from the Iron Lynx Proton team. There's a very happy Matteo Caroli. That's great to see. And the highlighter yellow livery on the car, matched by the overalls. This is a team that's already won a European Le Mans Series race. They've not had the season they were hoping for, but looks like it could finish on a high. That's the order after qualifying the overall classification. 130.771 enough, but look at the gaps behind. Under 0.4 of a second for the top 10 cars. This could be quite some grandstand finish to the season here.
Oh, it's going to be great. I mean, when you've got the top 10 just split by under 0.4, fantastic.
Then we've got the pole position car in the LMP2 Pro and Proton competitions, number 77. So both the Proton cars on pole, by the way. Then RLRM Sports, 20th place and pole position in LMP3. And good to see that they're back on form as they hand over the trophy they won last year. And then at the bottom of that page there, the pole position car in LMGT3, the 82 Corvette from CF Sports. So nearly had both of their cars with the AO by TF Orica on pole position too. Sets it up nicely. 4 hours of racing to come to call it quits for 2025 in the European Le Mans Series. That's Matthias Joubert making his way back to the garage. Remember, the race is tomorrow, Saturday, and I'm just checking here. It is at 2:30 race starts locally. That is the same time in the UK. Please take a look at YouTube for how that equates for your local area. I want to say big thank you to Ollie Gavin for joining us with Johnny Palmer feeling a bit poorly sick. Johnny, I'm sure will be
Get
back
well soon,
tomorrow.
Johnny.
Absolutely. From me, Graham Goodwin, from him, Ollie Gavin, from the production team, we'll see you tomorrow for the finale of the 2025 European Le Mans Series here at Portimão.